The single, If You Tolerate This, Your Children Will Be Next, came out on Monday. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be number one on Sunday. The album, This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours, is out on September the 14th. It's Radio 1, it's the Lunchtime Social, and possibly more special than anybody I've ever had in this studio. Not. It's the Manic Street Preachers, Nicky and James and Sean. Hello.
How you doing? All right.
Hello.
Very good, thank you. It must be a nightmare being yourselves, actually. It's bad enough for me just doing this interview, and I suddenly get loads of letters and emails from people saying, oh wow, this is really serious, God, you've got an interview with the Manics, and I'm expecting you to ask this and I'm expecting you to do that, and it's dead scary, just the prospect of interviewing you. So to be yourselves and have expectations must be kind of daunting, or do you just kind of ignore all that?
I kind of know what it feels like to have to try and perhaps answer a question that would have been fielded in Richey or Nick's direction. I always get intimidated by that, so I know the feeling really.
Why did you choose Tolerate as the first single?
I just think it was most succinct. Whereas we chose Design for Life last time round, it was because it was like a most succinct kind of way of getting our message across, and it just musically the song just seemed to fly away without kind of having massive string sections in it, and just there's not massive drums in it or anything. It was just one of the most natural things we did in the studio.
Okay, and can you tell us what it's about and what the title's about?
It's just, inspired by the Clash doing Spanish Bombs and George Orwell's homage to Catalonia, and the International Brigade in the Spanish Civil War, and it's just a kind of warning of what is about to come. If people are not aware, then they end up being controlled.
Do you kind of despair that people are so apolitical nowadays and so apathetic?
No, it doesn't, but it makes me feel good, because it makes me feel, totally alone in what we do as a group. I've always
in the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed that feeling of isolation and being different to everybody else, so, it gives you a reason to get up in the morning.
Yeah. Tell us about the This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours as well, the story of where that title came from, because that kind of puts a lot into context, I think.
Yeah, it's just the 50th anniversary of Anaya and Bevan, set up the National Health Service, and I was up a mountain in Tredegar, and this was one of his favourite quotes, and it just, at that time, seemed to crystallise a lot of the feelings on the record. We'd recorded quite a lot of the album by then, and it just seemed to make perfect sense. I phoned James up and told him about this quote that night, and it just seemed to be a magic moment. And
is there anyone that you play it to when you've made the album, or you've done a song and you go home, like, you play it to girlfriends or family or anybody, and just sort of think, there's one person who gives approval and you think, God, that's okay then, we've kind of pulled it off?
No, there's not really anybody kind of that I'm close to that I really trust musically, really.
No, I think the approval comes from within us, really. That's what it's always about, making a record for yourselves before everybody else.
Yeah. And so at the moment, do you passionately love this record, or how do you feel about it in relation to all the other stuff?
I think you love a record when you're making it. Right at the very moment you finish it, you listen to it for the first time, you love it or hate it then. I loved it when we finished this album. But straight after that, then just nervousness kicks in, or your competitive nature just kicks in.
Yeah.
And you don't actually love it until you can. We've always been a band where we've gauged our reaction to our own records by other people's reactions too. And we haven't released. Well, we've only just released our single.
What kind of reaction have you had to it from the hardcore fans?
What, the single?
Yeah, the single.
Agnostic friend didn't like it.
5 to 10, the guy's a fag. The singer's a fag. That's what they said. But no, a lot of them it's been the this is not the essence of what the Manics are about, and the other half has just been saying that it's a beautiful record. So it's kind of seems to split down the middle at the moment for me.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to play the single now. This is Manic Street Preachers. We're going to take some calls in just a minute. This is Tolerate. Radio 1, the Lunchtime Social. The Manic Street Preachers, my guest today on the show. It's Sean and James and Nicky, and we've got some phone questions now from people who calls while I was away. We've got Hayley on the phone, Hayley Murphy.
Hiya.
And hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. You've got a question then for the Manics?
Yep. As a band, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? And Patrick Bateman doesn't count because I think it's brilliant.
Good Trainspotter fan. Yeah. It's nice to hear.
I would say Revol as a song of the Holy Bible is a pretty embarrassing landmark for us in every way. The video, the record, everything.
Anything's wrong with the video?
Oh, it's like Super Trumps. It's going to be, it freezes and then loads of fats come down the side. It's terrible.
Yeah. Nicky? Regrets?
No, it's lots of funny things, like when Richey fell asleep on James's shoe on stage. It's not so much embarrassing, it's genuinely a really funny moment where you're playing Life Becoming a Landslide, and it was sort of Life Puts Me to Sleep for Richey, and he was snoozing on James's shoe. So that was a beautiful, gorgeous little thing, that.
Okay, Hayley, is that okay?
Yeah, and I also wanted to know, did Nick get the Mr. Men pants I sent him?
Yeah, I did actually. They were a bit small for me, though.
Bit tight.
Sorry.
A little bit tight.
Which
but thanks.
Mr. Man was it, Hayley?
Mr. Lazy.
Yeah. Quite appropriate.
Right, Hayley, thank you very much.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, onwards and upwards. Rachel Hitchman in Peterborough. Rachel at work at the moment in a sports shop, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Rachel, meet the Manics, they're all yours.
Hello. Hello there.
Rachel, ask your question then.
Right, well, it's to James, really. Is it true, James, that you have to have 2 tea bags in every cup of tea you make? And do you have any other weird food habits?
Yeah, kind of basically, I've had this mission to find the perfect cup of tea. I think I found it's a fusion of 2 tea bags. It's the pyramid tea bags, yeah. So one of them and a Glengettie tea bag in a very small teapot. And my other kind of twisted food habit is just I smother all my roast potatoes in Marmite before I roast them.
No, really?
Yeah.
Is that good?
It's a good tip, it is, because it doesn't actually taste of Marmite, it just makes them really brown and crispy.
Yeah.
So you guys, when the potatoes are wet, you rub all the Marmite in your hands, so it's just, they don't come out brown, it's just a very
Where did you learn that from?
Me and mother.
Right. Okay, Rachel, anything else that you wanted to challenge them with?
No,
That'll do nicely.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Okay, cheers, Rachel.
Bye.
Okay, we had loads of other questions coming through via email, fax and God knows what. Jackie Beattie said, have you decided whether you're going to publish the remainder of Richey's lyrics in book form, as you've talked about in the past?
Yeah, well, it's something we really want to do. It's just a question of doing it properly and the timing of it, really. It's not, you don't want to just chuck it out. Just want to do it right.
Yeah. How was it for you writing this album, Nicky? Because this is the one that you've done completely on your own. Was it did you feel freed up, or did you feel, what did you feel about it?
No, I just felt, one of the best things about being in the band was actually sitting down at the same table and writing a song with Richey. Sometimes I'd have the title, Richey'd have the chorus or whatever, Couldn't do that with this album. So it just meant a lot more work, really,
Was it a frightening prospect?
A little bit, but I mean, as long as I never try to copy Richey's sort of lyrics, then I think it'd be fine. I'd be pretty sad if I really tried to copy his intellectualism.
But you just wouldn't do it, would you?
No, I couldn't do it anyway, so as long as I keep to my own path, I think it'd be okay.
Yeah. Obviously, it wouldn't be a Manics interview if we didn't mention Dysons and hoovering. So Natalie Southall in Tottenham said, James and Sean like housework as much as Nicky does.
Well, James definitely doesn't know. He's got a cleaner. He's sort of...
Sean?
I'd probably do about as much hoovering as Nick, maybe a little bit.
I don't know about that, but twice a day, every day, I think not.
What is the joy of hoovering in particular?
It's just cleansing, isn't it? Some people get wrecked, and I do that.
Right. Okay. Danny Cunningham in Crediton, he wants to know who originally came up with the band name.
It was me when I used to go busking. When I left comprehensive, so that first summer when I left comprehensive, I went busking down Cardiff on my own all the time. And when I used to busk next to a lot of tramps and stuff, they just got to know them over the period of the summer, and they started calling me the Manic.
Did they?
Yeah, so that's where it comes from.
Okay. Bernadette Norris in Birmingham wants to know the theme of the single being about children, and whether any of you will have kids in the future, if you've thought about it.
I don't know. I don't know if we can have the time, really.
If you didn't hoover so
for
much,
the
maybe you
foreseeable
would.
future. No, I'm not quite sure.
It's something we haven't really thought about, I don't think.
I'm not sure where I stand in that department.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in today and talking to us. We wanted you to choose a track from your past that you particularly liked. Could you agree on one?
I think we've come up with...
We haven't heard From Despair Away for a long time, so...
And because no one played it when it first came out, it'd be nice to hear it again.
Yeah.
Okay, go on then, here it is. This is From Despair to Where.